Senator Amy Klobuchar, I don't mean to tell you how to do your job, but I feel like reading the room should be up there in responsibilities for a sitting senator. Senator Amy Klobuchar posted this today. It's bipartisan legislation to recognize the bald eagle as our national bird just passed Congress and is now headed to the president's desk to be signed into law. Oh, good. A thing that everybody thought was already a thing is now officially a thing. Oh, and it's bipartisan, so everybody voted on it. Certainly more important than doing anything about an issue that a majority of bipartisan voters care about. Making sure that the bald eagle is recognized as the national bird is certainly a top priority right now as the entire country is celebrating bold action taken to bring attention to the healthcare plight in this country. Gotta make sure that bald eagle is recognized instead of doing anything about the last administration's bold effort to tell us they were going to be the people to forgive student loans and then just forgot about that. This administration spent the last several years telling us that if Lord Dampnut ever gets put back in office, he represents an existential threat to democracy, an existential threat who has already said he's going to get rid of the Department of Education, and whose surrogates are right now floating the idea that Lord Dampnut qualifies for a third term because he didn't get 2 consecutive terms. Even though Democrats didn't win majorities in anything, there are still leadership positions that we could take over, and AOC is trying for one of them. She would like to be the ranking member on the House Oversight Committee, and yet Nancy Pelosi is making sure that she doesn't get it. Instead, she wants this young whippersnapper, nice upstart 74-year-old Jerry Connolly take the spot. Really just shows that Democrats are listening to voters right now and doing what we want, huh? No, the more that I think about celebrating this bipartisan passage of upholding a thing everybody thought was already a thing, like the angrier I get. So many other issues right now. This just does not feel remotely important. And I know that so many of you are going to hop in these comments and say, well, what do you expect Congress to do? What exactly do you expect anybody to do? The president is on his way out. Congress is on their way out. We have to have a peaceful transfer of power. What do you want them to do? I don't know. I'm not in Congress. But do you know what I do know? I know that I saw a Senate Majority Leader keep a seated president with nearly a year left in his last term appointing justices to the Supreme Court, which was his right. And they did all that in a concerted effort to get a conservative supermajority on the Supreme Court. And it worked. I know that I saw a seated Republican president reorganize the entire military via tweet in an attempt to kick out all of the trans soldiers. I know that I've seen Republicans just make up new rules and then dare Democrats to stop them. I know that I've seen the Republican Party invent new policies and procedures that align with their party's values and just do them. And if they're popular enough, nobody stops them. I don't like that that is how things work now, but that is how things work now. You can't spend the last few years telling us that the incoming administration is an existential threat to democracy and then spend the final days of what you're telling us is the death knell of democracy celebrating birds. The people want to feel like their politicians listen to them and then are willing to take bold, decisive action based on the feedback that they get when they are listening to people. Is it perfect? No. Is it great? No. Is that how democracy should work? No. Our democracy prioritizes land voting over people, so I don't know what to tell you. It's all made up. People are terrified. Would love to see the Democrats, who want to be thought of as progressives, take progressive action. Bold, progressive action. I would love for them to wholeheartedly hand over the baton to the younger generation of leadership, which is champing at the bit to take over. I would love to see them also take bold, decisive action on any one of these matters: healthcare, gun reform, education, student loan forgiveness, enshrining marriage equality into law, term limits for Supreme Court justices. I don't know, but I would just love to see them take any bold action and dare the other side to stop it. Most of these ideas are popular with a broad swath of the American public. They just don't like them when they're called the Democratic platform. Even after all of that, I know that there's going to be people hopping in this comment section and saying, what could they do? And I'm going to continue to say, I do not know, but I feel like it's got to be more than bald eagles. Thank you. Goodbye.